You are welcome back to my channel, The Classic Manny. It is your boy, and I am back with another episode of Self Sundays. I am in dire need of this segment right now because I have neglected my skin. I have not been as consistent with my skincare routine, and it shows, baby. Like, obviously, I've got the do-rag on, so you can't really see right now, but when I push back, you're going to see a little bit of spots here and there. I feel like it's a combination of stress, not drinking enough water. I allowed someone to use product on my skin that was not mine, so obviously I think it gave me a little bit of a reaction as well, but it's a mixture of all that stuff. I've never had this much spots on my face. Today, I'm going to be using the green tea clay face mask from the Glow Pots. As you guys know, I have supported the company since last year. I think it's been a year or two, and I am now officially affiliated with the company. If you use my code Manny15 at checkout or use the direct link in my description box, you can get 15% off all products. I'm also going to be using the silicone brush from Spa Retreat. This was recommended to me by Bello. Shout out to Bello. She is an amazing individual. She's a co-host on Mochunks TV alongside Chris Topper. Shout out to them. They're doing amazing things. And she recommended that I don't use my fingers, that I should use a brush. Let's go straight into testing out the products. As you can see, I'm left-handed. Comment below if you are also left-handed like your boy. We are the winning team. You know, Bello, shout out to you. You were actually right. This feels much better. I don't really notice the difference when I do it regularly, but doing it here, right now, and just actually paying attention to how I apply, yeah, it does make a difference, to be honest. It does make a huge difference, baby. So it says we should leave it on for up to 10 minutes. Let me get my glasses. I don't understand my glasses too much. I'll pee in anyway. So I'm gonna leave it. I look stupid. So I've started the timer. I am back. I've had a quick shower. Once I was done washing off my face mask, I went straight, well, I was meant to go straight into using the wash, but I've run out of that and it's currently on pre-order, so I have to wait for that to get here before I can use that. I skipped straight into using the cucumber cleanser. It does what it says on the tin, or in this case, the bottle, and then I went straight into using my go-to cream, which is the Palmer Shea Balm Moisturizer. I believe that's what it's called. I've used it for 2 years and I have not memorized the full name. The star of the show is the face mask. For me, once it got to the 10-minute mark, I felt it begin to tingle, which obviously showed that it's time to wash it off, bro. Once I washed it off, my skin just felt nice and hydrated. I didn't feel dead skin or my skin feeling like an odd texture. It felt amazing. Obviously, I got my spot still, like, it's going down. I will let you know how my skin has improved since I've used it and since I've gone back into my skincare regime and trying to stick to it daily, because life is tiring. So I'm going to go straight into the topic of today's video, which is self-reliance and enjoying your own company. You must be wondering, what the hell does that got to do with self-care or self-love? But it has a lot to do with it. I will break it down, and I wanted to talk about it because that is something that I've realized I can relate to. I know how much it gives me peace, so I want to talk about that here, and also talk about the pros and the cons of that, because it might not be healthy for you if you don't have that balance. So as I always do, I'm going to go straight into this video with a definition, and the key word is self-reliance, which is defined as the ability to do things and make decisions by yourself without needing other people to help you. So I'm going to start off by talking about my personal experience. I've always been the person that loves to be around people that I care about, so family, friends, whoever I'm dating or in a relationship with, supporters, all that kind of stuff. I love being around them. I love meeting new people, but at the same time, I cannot stress to you how much I enjoy my own company. Like, I love to be alone. That sounds very depressing. I love my alone time. let me reword that, because loving to be alone, I feel like at one point I could say I love to be alone, but then I realized I do need people and I do love people, but I also love my alone time. So I feel like there's a big difference between loving to be alone and loving your alone time. I've had this topic in my list since I started my segment, not the channel, but the segment Self Sundays, but I didn't know how I was going to go about it until my friend Dorinda said to me one time. So she said to me twice. The first time I ignored it. The second time I was like, okay, there is some truth to what she's saying. She said, do you feel you like your alone time or like being alone because of how you were as a kid or because of what you went through as a kid? And I was like, okay, you might have said something here. Let me start off with even my primary socialization. As you guys know, I did not grow up with my dad present in my life, and due to that my mom had to fill the role as a mother and a father. And a con of that is, even though she was giving me so much, obviously putting food on the table, she had to work twice as hard for us to survive, which meant she had to sacrifice her quality time with me. And this is not me bashing my mom. My mom is the most amazing woman on earth. Don't get it misconstrued, don't get it twisted. She's one of a kind, and I don't think I'll be here today without her. However, in the process of her having to fill in my dad's shoes, it did affect our relationship emotionally, in terms of me having to rely on myself emotionally. And I think that's how it started. This is not, I'm not saying that to make her look bad, because no, in any case, she did what she could do, you know, and I will always love her for that. And she has always tried to give, I'm not saying she's not giving me any emotions. She has shown emotions. She has always loved me, and I've always felt the love. Quality time was where it lacked, and that was where I had to depend on myself to be happy alone and to find what interests me, you know, from a young age. It started off with my mum just being a hard worker to the point where it kind of affected that quality time aspect, to my sister coming in, filling in those shoes. Recently, I overheard my mom saying that she felt guilty that when I was younger, she couldn't help me with my homework and stuff like that. For example, they would give me a list of words and she thought it was spelling tests, but it was actually to form sentences with. She felt guilty that she didn't have enough time for me to go through those words and do it correctly. It took my sister having to come in to be like, okay, mommy, he's actually on the right track, but it's not spelling, it's this. That's just an example of what I mean. And as I said, it does not make her a bad person. I hope that makes sense. I hope where that starts from makes sense. And then going into primary school and secondary school, that's now the secondary socialization of things. That's when I think it got worse. I don't think I was ever in an environment where I felt included or I felt valued, if that makes sense. So again, even though I had people around me, so I had a lot of female friends in primary school, I couldn't relate to them. There was times where I just didn't feel like I fit in. And this is very hard to talk about, by the way. I'm trying to get myself together emotionally, but yeah, so obviously with that, and then with church too, I was around people that were meant to like have that spiritual love for each other, but as I said in my church story time video, I had male youth leaders saying, I'm going to teach you how to be a man, making me feel like I was not a part of anything. So again, that's where I also felt secluded. I had to just depend on myself, mentally and emotionally. I realized from an early age, people can disappoint you. Music, it means a lot to me, because that's one of the ways in which I enjoy my alone time, by listening to music. Recently, listening to podcasts, all that good stuff. I've always loved movies. Like I think I probably watched Cinderella the Black version with Whitney Houston and Brandy 100 times as a kid, because I just had to find ways to feel like there was people there without people being there. That makes sense. I understand people that say you can have a lot of people in the room and still feel alone. I get where that comes from. Due to this, I am a homebody. I love being at home, specifically in my room. And it sounds as if I'm locked up, but I love to just be on my laptop creating content or watching Netflix or watching TV shows, YouTube videos. I can spend the whole day in my room and no one hear from me. That was something that I had to unlearn when it came to my creative side, because now the effective ways to grow authentically is through networking. How are you going to network when you're always at home? Without that, I don't think I would have some opportunities that I've had today, because People need to feel you. They need to meet you and meet the real you. So I'm going to quickly talk about the pros and cons of being self-reliant and also enjoying your own company. I think the most important thing when it comes to this is balance. There's nothing wrong with you being someone that's an outgoing person that loves being around people. I do too. As I said, I love being around family, friends, people that love me and that I love back. But it's very important that once you're done with all that and you go back to your home and you've locked that door behind you, that you also feel that same happiness that you have when you're with them. It's very important that you can rely on yourself as much as you can rely on others, if not more on yourself, because people will let you down this life. That's the reality of life. There's people gonna come and go. People are gonna mess up. People can be great, but people can also be shit. So it's very important that you have that balance. The number one person that you have to make a priority is yourself. I see a lot of people my age, a little bit younger, a little bit older, that are very reliant on people. I'm talking about relying on people emotionally and mentally. And again, there's nothing wrong with having people by your side. The negative side is that people may feel, I don't need people. You do need people, but you need the right people around you. Having the wrong people around you can affect your journey of self-care and self-love. That's why I'm always saying to you, if someone lets you down in this life, if someone does you dirty, yes, it's going to hurt, but you have to get yourself together. When it comes to emotional attachment, when it comes to relationships, I'll talk about that in another video with people, hopefully. But I know that when you're in love with someone, guaranteed you're going to fall deep. You're going to give yourself to someone. But it's very important that in that process of dating and meeting someone and building something, that you also continue to go through that journey of self-love, knowing yourself, loving yourself, because once that person goes, God forbid, and hopefully all of us has long-lasting relationships, but if the worst happens, God forbid, you also need to know how to fall back on yourself. Because once the person has let you go, what are you going to fall on? On the fucking ground. You're going to fall on the ground. So it's just so important that you just prioritize yourself. I want to clarify, it's not just about relying on people. We do need people, and that's what is very important. But I see a lot of people rely on others that do not care about them, that are there to gain something in any way, shape or form. People do not realize how much enjoying your own company ties in with rest and energies. It's not every spirit they have to come and allow into your world. You're going to see how much it's going to affect you positively in terms of rest and in terms of recuperating and getting yourself back together. It is draining being around people 24/7, includes family and friends, no jokes. So I feel like a few questions that I want to ask you before I end this video is, are you prioritizing yourself enough emotionally and mentally? Do you feel like you seek validation through people constantly? Because if that's the thing, then you have to actually use being self-reliant, actually knowing yourself, enjoying your alone time to do that. Do you know how to enjoy being alone? If you don't know how to enjoy being alone, find your hobbies, find your passions, bring those passions into life. It's very important that, yes, you have people to turn to, but you also have yourself to turn to at times, because we all have things to do. And that's the sad reality. As adults, we all have a life to live. I'm someone that I'm very emotional, but I know how to control my emotions. It's not every person in my life that has said, oh, Manny's crying again for the time. It's good to have people to cry to. Oh my God, I've cried to my friends many times. I've cried to my family many times. But it's just important to have that balance. Just knowing, okay, I can have a good cry on my own. You know, I can just turn on that music, let it out, and I'm gonna be good. I wanna feel okay. I encourage people enjoying their alone time as much as them being around the right people, the right environments, and living your best life the right way. You know what I'm saying? You know, just, you know, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of both, but as I said, just prioritizing and balance is so important. So that's all I have for today's video. If you have made it to the end, thank you so much for sticking through to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, the usual. And don't forget to always do you and be unapologetic. Peace. Bye.